And we're back, everybody, coming straight through to game number 2 over at Meta HEC. Off the bat, we can see Oakleigh Grammar on the red side, and on the blue side, we've got Newstead. As straight off the bat, it is a 3-man conversions and a bit of a 2-split over in the top half over from Oakleigh, but a bit more of a disarray coming out from Newstead.
Yeah, I really feel this is a bit of a missed opportunity coming out of Newstead. They've got themselves the Nautilus. It makes sense for them to jump in and go, all right, time for us to force a fight. We've got the hook. We've got the ability, of course, as well, the fact that we can use the on to jump in and slow people down with his E. And even at the same time as well, Mudder Man has the ability to knock everyone up. So there's a lot of options for them to really catch people out and force the fights and make some damage or force a few flashes, a number of things to give them that early advantage that you're always looking for in the game.
I wonder what we're going to see in the, in early lane phase, how much aggression we're going to see coming out from these junglers, because Moonerman picking on Sion before level 6. So I feel like he's just going to be running straight into lane, and unless like someone has like a CC to be able to slow them down or stun them all together, the gank could be a little bit forfeit and could really work well for the likes of Oakleigh, just because of they play on the information and they're able to essentially do something else entirely, and now for something completely different. Straight into the lane phase, both sides staying off passive, both junglers at this point as well, starting on the bottom side of the map. I wonder if we're going to see a little bit more aggression towards top lane as a first point of gank, or even mid lane, considering Syndra, once she hits level 2 or level 3, going to see an attempt at getting some CC control over on top of this Cassiopeia.
I don't think there was any particular reason for their ganks. When I look at it here, typically a jungler does choose which lane they want to gank, but also at the same time, when I look at what Sion does, Sion has a better job at clearing those AoE camps first, so that's why he generally starts the bottom side of the map, or the red side. And on the flip side of things, Kha'Zix does a really good job at killing the single targets, which is the blue side of the map, or where the blue jungle starts for him. So it makes sense for them actually just to start that bottom side of the map, purely because it's easier for them to actually clear away those minions, start to get themselves ramping up towards a level 3, and then start doing something for the rest of their laners.
Oh, nice little poking advantage. I'm loving that we're seeing some wards appearing now on in river jungles. And there's Mudderman coming straight towards top lane on top of Toast. Manages to dash through, but gets caught out as now Kangaroo gets right on top. There's a flash coming out. Miniman's going to try and get in. There's a flash followed by a nice little anchor down. That's going to be the first kill. Going over to Kai'Sa over in bottom lane, off screen while on top lane. They managed to claim a kill of their own. Now Divine sort of stuck a little bit behind. I'm liking how your prediction is now coming to fruition. How Divine playing Pantheon is very aggressive, but up against the likes of Grabber, playing as Nautilus, we will see a little bit of a lag behind. It's like they do have better lane control.
And the other thing to take into account there is they didn't use summoners at all. Birthright used his, so I feel like Divine probably had to sacrifice himself for the cause. Jumped in, realized, what, even if I was to flash, I'm not going to get out. But it really is a rough day when you still, have 2 summoners up and you give away a kill as well on that bottom side of the map. So things can go from bad to worse very quickly when that sort of trade is coming through. The other thing to take into account, that top side, I really like the patience coming from Kangaroo and Mudderman. Speaking of which, grab a flame, not going to land. So, I want to go back to that top side. The idea that Mudderman and Kangaroo just kept the slows onto Otoast. He pushed in slowly. That made it easy for Mudderman to walk up. He used his flash towards the very end to make sure he could line up a guaranteed decimate on his Q. That was what was really good about that. So the fact that he was able to line up that Q perfectly means that they were able to definitely get the kill, and now that's a massive advantage coming across here for Newstead in the early stages of the game.
A lot of aggression coming out towards these top laners. Toast getting caught out a little bit. There's a knockup coming straight through. He's going to try and get on top, but, before hitting level 9 where he completes his W, gets the unlimited use of, that machine gun he's got in his pocket. He's going to be falling back a little bit against the likes of Kangaroo and Sion, already being more aggressive than we're seeing from Kha'Zix, which is a little bit unlikely, because, Sion does have a little bit of better wave clear, but his ability to gank is a little bit forfeit until we see level 6, where he just completely becomes a choo-choo train up against whoever he decides to charge into. And straight off the bat, gets straight on top. There's Sion nearby going for his second gank of the game. He's going to try and come up against small tennis, but there's the flash. and he gets away cleanly. Now he is completely immobile as Grubber is going straight in, gets on top, gets the hook, gonna try and get the best tech, get the stun needed. There it is, that's what's needed. Going straight on top there, Sparks picking his tech, and there you go. Kaiser claiming second kill of the game. Going straight through it, getting caught out there. He's just going on top. A flash while sitting on Ignite. That's a double kill, looking to go for the third. As Grubber's nearby, there's a flash coming out from Kha'Zix as well. Gets caught out. There's the next basic tech needed for a full highlight. Gets right on top, and Glover of Flame claiming a free kill, making that 3 kills in bottom lane, going over to the likes of... Oh, my brain actually lost me for a second.
Don't worry, they're still going. There's still more.
Newstead, yeah, now top lane. Miniman coming up top lane now. He's going to try and help him claim a kill on top, and he's at critical point. Doesn't have flash available. He's completely mobile. Can't kill it out as Kangaroo claims a solo kill with Miniman. Essentially just there for the free XP from those minions going down.
Newstead have absolutely lit a fire underneath this map. It is heating up and it's going all their way. Oakleigh Grammar can't really keep up in all the things that's happening to. I really wanted to take into account the way that played out. Remember I said how those summoners were still available for Messi, still available for Grabber of the Flame? That's what allowed them to take out a 3v2 in the bottom lane. Where every single time Birthright is caught first, they're able to put out immense amount of damage, especially when that fourth prop comes across for Messi, and you could tell they're able just to jump in, immediately get that kill. That allowed them to win the 2v2 afterwards directly when Kha'Zix came in, and because they still had the exhaust available, Kha'Zix wasn't able to do that typical blow up damage that he does. That does mean that Messi's able to survive, continue to elongate, and Grabber was just so good at CCing the members, keeping that front guard in place, allowing Messi to continue to deal that damage, and that's how they were able to come out on top. Look at this gold in 7 minutes, already above 3,000. That is a death omen for most teams at any point, at any level of play.
Sure how to feel about what's happening at the moment. Like, everyone is resetting themselves, which is wonderful, but looking at these junglers, the major difference I'm finding is how much Boomerman is really like being aggressive on a champion that does not have a lot of gap closing capabilities, has some good CC, but he needs to be able to, like, you know, sort of set them up properly to be able to do stuff. Whereas on the other side, Kha'Zix is not exactly finding a lot of successes. There's the Grabber going straight on top. Yep, Divine manages to defend him, popping out the shield to deny any form of extra projectiles coming straight through, and Kangaroo allowing complete control of the wave, pushing straight underneath his turret so that he has free control to be able to sort of touch it. Now we can see False King's nearby. He's going to get ready with the ball. Fires it prematurely. There's the ulti coming as well on top. There's the stun, followed by a nice little knockup. And Kaiser, just a little bit with those Void Seekers, enables a 3-man mention on that kill. And now False Kings has this lane control for at least another 35 seconds, while Cassiopeia is on respawn and still makes his way back to lane.
Mudman just really understands the way to play the Sion matchup. Everything that he's been doing has actually been very calculative. It's actually been very intentional. You could see when he started off the match, he went red into Raptors, then in towards the blue buff, completely skipping the Krugs. The reason for that is because by getting those 2 camps, followed through by the Wolves afterwards, should be enough to get him to level 3. Obviously, as well, with Kangaroo knowing that he's going to be in the losing matchup or playing the weak side, he was allowing himself to build Toast in, and now he's got this advantage. Look at this fight continue.
Yep, he goes in with the call. The Force God gets on top, and he's going to get stomped on as Kangaroo claims the kill on top lane. Now we can see False King's flashes to get away. Pops the unleashed power.
Wow.
And there we go. Dark Sphere claiming a kill outside of blue buff. Gives him a nice advantage. Now sitting on 1 kill, 1 assist. Is lagging a little bit behind in CS, but that is nothing short of how strong Syndra is becoming. She's ready to hit her first major power spike, hitting level 6. Hitting level 9 will really give her a nice damage boost with those Dark Spheres once they're maxed out. Is really going to make a very good power play for the likes of Fallen Kings. This is what's really going to make a very interesting match play.
They're styling them at the moment, Reinhardt. What I really love about what's happening is because Zuishin wasn't able to find anything. You can see the first moment he deviated from pathing and decided to went buff, he died, right? Most cases with the Kha'Zix, you're really looking for an opportunity to start snowballing the game, and when you don't find it, you're in trouble, and that's a place the Snake doesn't want to be.
Yeah, there he is.
But
he actually managed to take down Sion, but with the reanimation available, he's going to go right on top, take down Small Tennis, then go straight in. There's the ulti coming out from Toast, but he's at a critical point. Oh, he flashes and dashes away, but there's the Dark Sphere needed, claiming a kill, turning the tides around, 3 kills for 2, and that's going to be a Rift Herald over to the likes of Newstead.
Yeah, and that all comes down to the choice of damage. You really want to leave the Scion for last, because as you mentioned, the reanimation comes in. They already used most of their abilities to get in. They have nothing to get out, and he just was able to start pile driving onto them. Really well done by Otos to find that last bit of a kill to at least make it a 3-for-2. And I like what was coming through from Oakleigh Grammar. It is signs of life. Even though Newstead still came out on top, the big thing is they're able to get some good gold injections on some members, might be able to stem the bleeding in certain parts of the lane, and if they can extend this game out, they can still find their way to make something happen. But this pressure has allowed False Kings to come down, and he's going to try and get something, but very hard with that Pantheon.
Without that Pantheon available, they really are stuck in the mud. And you know, they will need the help of Kha'Zix to be able to ties up a single team fight, because that Nautilus is preventing them from being able to dish out all of their money, and that's really making the big difference in this bottom lane situation. As long as Nautilus is alive and there, they won't be able to win a team fight very easily. And considering how much she stays in the back line, like, this Kha'Zix is really going to make a nasty situation, as we see Kangaroo giving us a bit of a flash dance.
He was being very cheeky there. What I love about what he did there, Reinhardt, was that he was being cheeky with his little flash dance, but he was also holding the wave in a position that Otos just does not want to be. Otos needs to obviously be thinking about the engage, but Kangaroo's going for it.
He gets on top, gets a nice little collar force shot, but doesn't hit the knock-up needed. And all the while, down in mid lane, there was a kill taken down as False Kings gets put on respawn. Kangaroo finally claiming a kill after a prolonged trade, as the ulti was also not enough to be able to take him down. Now we can see Kha'Zix gets caught out over at the Dragon Pit. There's the first kill going over to Kaiser. They're going to try and continue straight on Spontaneous. He doesn't have that Stone Gaze available, and they're going to go straight on top. That's another kill on top. They're going to try and steal the Dragon, but no, they managed to claim another kill. 3 kills over to Newstead, as well as a Dragon. All the while, Jin, using the Curtain Call, does not find a kill. Things are looking a little bit grim for Oakleigh, as these fights are not looking good for their scene.
Again, the Tiger priority just seems to be on that Scion first, and with that passive, just continues to generate value even after death. And you can see here, them continuing to win the skirmish, get the objective of the back is really going to be, as I mentioned, a death omen coming across here for Oakleigh Grammar. Newstead well and truly in control of the game. I think the only real criticism I've got right now as False Kings wasn't really respecting, of course, the brushes, the kill potential that could come out of this Kha'Zix. Now that he's got wards, is in a much better position for it. If he was just there in that team fight, things go even worse for Oakleigh Grammar as well. So they need to continue to just play this out a little bit more conservatively, get the wins on the fact that they're finding kills in lane, and start to give up those objectives. If sometimes, you can just completely lose the game trying to win back on objectives that you should have just given away. What you do is you trade. You go towards the top side. If they're going to be a dragon and that's their choice, then top lane is your choice. Otos might be caught once again.
Yep, as we can see on screen, Mudderman does catch on top. Kangaroo's going to try and slow. There's the knock-up. He tries to dash straight through, but no, he gets caught in the middle of it. And that's going to be an easy kill as to Mudderman gets that last basic attack as Toast tries to deny the inevitable. Tries to survive with the skin on his teeth for the second chance, but no, that's not going to be enough. Now with Small Tennis coming towards top lane, he's going to be sitting there defending. And all the while, bottom lane, there's Satara going down. T-Fight initiated. Grabber gets on top. A flash coming from Divine as they try to get away. And there's Hulk going on top. A nice kill going over to Kaiser. Now they're going to try and continue the trade, but Divine, just out of distance, gets in the turret, and it's going to be an easy one. Now towards the jungle, we see Small Tennis gets caught out. He's going to try and do everything. There's the Stone Gauge, but now on screen, we can see Divine actually gets taken down just outside of his turret. Kha'Zix is not exactly having the best time. He is coming out a little bit short in nearly every team fight he has decided to pick. And although the rest of Newstead are playing so well together, they are finding success. They are near 10,000 gold in difference before 15 minutes even. And
That's
really
filthy.
To claim these turrets. Oh, it's more than filthy. It's like a junkyard fight.
It's everything that's happening, they're just sitting there going like, that should just not be happening right now. I should not be having to verse this right now. And that's exactly what Oakleigh Grammar School are going for at this point in time. That's exactly what they're going to have to deal with. Now, Newstead just need to keep this pressure on if they want to win the game. The way that they're moving has been in a pretty damn good trajectory. Yeah, there's a few things they could clean up, but in terms of how well Messi's been playing, that man needs to change his name. It shouldn't be Messi anymore, because he's been clean the entire way through. Mudderman's pathing has been exceptional, and when you've got the support from False Kings, who's consistently looking to roam around the map, protect objectives, or try to get that little bit of an edge over it, because Small Tennis is trying to move around as well, but just doesn't seem to have the same oomph and effect that False Kings has. It is really beginning to drive the advantages here for Newstead. So everything that I come into it that is in place is really just really good rotations coming out of Newstead, and it's completely putting OGS at a loss. They need to find a way to continue to monitor those movements, and at least stem the bleeding, because the way they're going, they're continuing to bleed, and they need to figure out what is going to be the play from Newstead, and then make a move somewhere else. They need to go somewhere else on the map. Get a Baron. Get themselves a Rift Herald if they're going to be for the Dragon. If they're going to be putting all the resources down bot, that's where they need to do. Just shift it around, because if you're trading, at least you're remaining competitive, and then you can try to win in the big team fights when one person's out of position.
Looking forward into this. Off screen, we've got Kha'Zix now converging towards top. Sion just resetting his jungle. Going for the farm. There we go. 2 versus
With a
1.
2v1.
He gets caught out. He flashes to try and get away. He's running towards the tri-bush as he tries to delay the fight for as long as possible. There's the knock-up needed just outside of turret. Oh, there's a flash coming from Toast. Grabber nearby. He's going to try and give him some defense. There's the distance needed. Kangaroo claiming the first kill. Nautilus claiming the second, as they turn the tides and actually manage to claim massive victory in that fight.
Yeah, Kangaroo is just so far ahead.
Oh,
he's just too far ahead.
Absolutely. He's got way too much tankiness to be able to actually like take him down easily. Now Small Tennis does manage to stop that unleashed power, but nothing short of that ignite's going to actually give them another kill, as there's 2 turrets going down, looking to get that third, as Grubber is claiming in top lane and bottom lane, just free pushing passively as we don't know it. And the rest of the team are really making plays. We've got Herald alive. That's going to be the next major focus. Dragon just under 15 seconds from respawn, and they are really forcing the likes of Oakleigh into a corner.
Yeah, this is where things just start to fall apart. When you're trying to put a number of resources, 2 members into an extended fight, and you come out losing both, and the other person still being alive, you know there's a problem. That is when they begin to get resources elsewhere, because they found kills not only in the mid lane, but also in the top side, and then also continue to clear out the rest of the objectives afterwards, in terms of getting the mid lane turrets, getting the top lane turrets, having an open route to Dragon. Everything is just now a nice, easy flow for Newstead in terms of how they're going to play the game, and with the amount of items they're also accruing as well, it needs to be death brushes. That's the only way that OGS is going to find something back into it, and Grabber is not letting them do it.
No, he managed to make a flashy play, making use of the terrain. Manages to latch himself on, drags himself up, like just there. And there's the charge from the Devs, followed by the Void Seeker coming out. There's the Killer Instinct, going to try and claim an easy one as the final basic attack and the passive proc gives him a nice kill as well. And there's the ulti coming out from Toast. He's going to try and look for that execution, but not enough health is being deleted, as now that's a double kill going over to Mesty, really making a ruckus on this map. And all the while, teleport coming out from Urgot just to get himself back to safety, as he was actually boxed in inside enemy territory behind enemy lines.
OGS have the right idea when it comes to it being the macro play. Everyone's down the bot side, we're going to do the Dragon, let's get Rift Herald, right? Perfect choice to make of it. But the problem is, because of how accelerated Newstead is, they're just moving too quickly around the map. And when Grabber is just acting the way he is, 3-0-13 at this moment in time, quite happy to just jump into the fray and force the team fights and say, everyone follow up after me. With this confidence, with this momentum, it's just so easy for Newstead to follow up directly afterwards. And you can see them just winning now skirmish after skirmish. They've got fantastic front line, not just in Kangaroo, but also in Mudderman, also in grabbing the flame. And with your damage so accelerated, I find it really hard for OGS to really get themselves back into it. They, again, need to set up something in terms of, looking for the kills. When they do have that many people making a play and quick rotating cross, you need to quick rotate on the one person that's overextended, Kangaroo in this case, but even that man is very hard to take down. He's got enough time to bring everyone else back. I think at this point, there needs to be them literally just finding out one place. As you can see, this like moving as a one-man unit, and when they see that one person out of position, jumping on that and just giving up elsewhere. That's the only way they can find someone that's going to be able to do something. And Small Ted is trying to stop False Kings, but oh my god.
No! Oh, a death leap straight into enemy lines, gets caught out as Grabber manages to latch into him. The rest of the team really unleashing everything they have. That's going to be a big dent in their front line.
You just feel bad for Zui there, because that anchor wasn't even meant for him. You could tell that anchor was trying to go for Small Tennis, and then he just jumps into it, and it's like, oh, that's literally like a bug being caught by a Mortine can at that point.
It is just disastrous. And now look at Monoman. He's going to try and split push while the rest of his team goes straight for Baron. Urgot's in the middle of the backline behind enemy turrets. And you've got False King now sort of running towards him. He's going to try and catch him off in the jungle. They've got two members sitting on Baron. They're actually going to try and make a Baron power play out of this. As Urgot's running around, he's going to try and avoid them as much as possible. But he is sort of setting his team a bit of a handicap, being disconnected and whatnot. Monoman goes on top of Shreezy. There's a catch on top, a flash, followed by a nice little swing. Gives him a nice kill in tow, and the rest of the team still taking down Baron uncontested inside this fog of war, giving him ultimate control over this map. In fact, actually this entire game with those Baron crosser minions now available in their arsenal.
Just look at that ward coverage that Grabber is putting out there at the moment. This man is on a mission to light the map up so the rest of his team can see it. And that's why they have such undisputed control over these objectives now. He's also been involved in most of the team fights. It's pretty damn ridiculous at this moment in time. And the team is now pushing them, is now trying to spread them thin with this Baron buff that they've picked up as well. They've got such a good way to do it as in terms of it. It's going to be a 4-1 push on the side, and I really love that they're making clear macro decisions based off the objectives that they're picking up at the time. The team is playing very well. Newstead, you've got this game on lockdown.
And it's only going to make things more disastrous. Like, just look. I'm honestly astonished at how strong their gameplay is. Ornn already with 2 upgraded items in his team's inventory, and they're going to try and make the most of this. As now there's the charge from Depth coming out, followed by a nice little Void Seeker kill still coming out from Messi, or should I say kill secured, as now they're trying to go on top in 2 versus 1 against Kangaroo. Will this be the fight needed to be able to turn the tide against him as he managed to claim the first kill? There's Divine on top, small tennis nearby, and there's the flush coming out from Birth as he uses the Gale Force to get himself into the fight and gets a mention. And that's going to be the final takedown needed to be able to turn this Kangaroo from a boss fight into a nice little mini moment, as they're able to actually give themselves a little bit of saving grace. But look at bottom in mid lane. You've got Sion pushing bottoms, going straight for the inhibitor. Mid lane as well, coming out from Messi and Grabber, really trying to push this charge.
We talked about that idea of OGS, put your resources somewhere, trade around the map if you can. Well, Newstead can do that as well. As soon as you put that many resources on top, it makes it so easy for them to jump in and clean up these inhibitors in the bottom of the side. It was too little too late, and wow, Monoman, he's been a little bit too, I think, over eager to force this fight out.
Yeah, and look at them go straight into it. They're fighting underneath the actual Nexus turrets, and they are not giving in whatsoever. Divine's going to try and lead the charge. Monoman's nearby. There's the curtain call needed. Gone straight on top as Toro's going to be the first one to get taken down, followed by Pantheon. Now they're going to try and get straight through. There's Casio been taken down. False Kings helping to take down Kha'Zix. And the last member alive sitting under the turret. We could see a repeat from game number 1 as they're trying to stay a little bit longer. Oh, Grabber, a critical point, takes too many hits from the fountain. But that is going to be enough. That is going to be game 2 going over to Newstead as they claim a massive victory and a near 20,000 gold lead over the likes of Oakleigh.
I was absolutely commanding from start to finish. You can tell when they picked up their early kills that they were really putting their mark on the game, and everything about it was, bridging through the game to make it work. They weren't just using their kills purely to grab a kill and then maybe buy some items. It was a kill in order to get an objective. It was a kill towards something. And every time they were making their little rotations across, it was actually probably the correct decision in those rotations. So maybe a few times the False Kings went a bit early when he could have actually just continued to push his turret. But when I think about it, what he was trying to do was to support his bot lane to ensure that he could bring them towards the mid lane. So everything had intention, and that's the way League of Legends should be played. You shouldn't be thinking about your move that's happening at that exact moment. You should be thinking about the move that's going to happen 4 times because of the outcome. And Newstead really seemed to have this game down pat from that point onwards. And really at this point in time, I think, we definitely need to say who our MVP is. The entire team played so well across the board in terms of, who was actually, the person to name. It was really hard per se. And I really just have to give it to Grabber. I mean, most of the time we don't really get a chance to, say the support's been doing pretty well, but this man embodied support. Not in the sense that as well that he was great, he was a part of everything. I mean, look, 3 kills, 20 assists. That's an insane number to have, and he's over 50% in kill participation across the board for the rest of his team here. I mean, 36 kills, pretty damn impressive. A lot of deaths happen around the map. But what was really great about it was he just seemed to be there in every single match, seemed to allow them to be a little bit of his essence that went into them actually winning those particular skirmishes, which happened to give them that commanding win at the end. And also, his warding was on point. Grabber really understands what he needs to do to give this team the way to win, and that's why Newstead were the ones to come on top, and that's why he's the Optus MVP.
There we have it, everybody. Special congratulations to Grab of being MVP of game number 2. The support of his team, and it really goes to show that support can be a very vital role if you make it happen. And a very special congratulations over to Newstead for being the victors of game 2 tonight over here at Meta HSE, and a very special mention over to Oakleigh for putting on a very outstanding effort, even though they did fall a little bit short. We're going to go to another intermission break. We'll prepare ourselves for the next game coming at you live, and that is going to be Melbourne High School versus De La Salle College. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back soon.